Yeah, he's always played major minutes. Uh, you want your veteran guys in situations like this as you come down the stretch. He's somebody obviously we trust, and he's playing well.
Coach, next question is from Tom Baker.
Hey, Fran, good afternoon. Wanted to ask about Michigan. They've got a lot of different pieces this year. Is that what kind of caused maybe a slow start for them, and how have they come on as a team in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had a pretty tough schedule early, and then they had the COVID stuff hit them. I think that got them a little bit sideways, but since they've gotten healthy, they've been really good. I mean, you got your veteran guys. Obviously, Eli Brooks, a very good player. Dickinson's one of the best players in the country. Uh, Jones is a veteran guy. He wasn't there last year, but he's the best player in the league he came from. Uh, and then you got a couple freshmen that are really good, but they've got a lot of veteran guys coming off the bench. Every year teams are different now. And it maybe took them a couple games or whatever, but they're playing as well as anybody that I've seen. I think you guys see the same thing.
All right, Coach, next question is from Mike Boss.
Fran, since you've been here, and in fact, it goes way before that, there haven't been two games in a row where you've had this kind of offense. What in a nutshell has produced that?
I don't think there's anything magical. We play the way we always play. We move the ball. We share the ball. We kind of try to be aggressive. Obviously, shot it pretty well from three. That sets up a lot of opportunities for driving, for post feeds, etc. But I think our defense as well, Mike, has been good the last two games, which is always going to help your offense.
All right, Coach, next question is from Rob Howe.
Hey, Fran, off of basketball, and it's too personal, I understand. What was it like having COVID? And Patrick kind of cracked a joke with us last week about you getting bored. What was it tough?
Well, I think it's always hard to be away from the team when we're playing games. I think the hardest thing was the Sunday when we played, because truthfully, I was feeling a lot better. I mean, I didn't feel good on Friday before the game, so I needed to be away from everybody, clearly. But by Sunday, I felt pretty good, and as I said, I total trust in my staff and the maturity of our guys, and they handled that situation extremely well. So, I had some conversations with the staff, with the guys, sometimes both of them together. We're pretty consistent with how we prepare the guys for the next opponent, so nothing changed there in terms of going through the scouting report, putting a scouting report, and getting them to know and understand the game plan. Now it comes down to executing it, which I think our guys have always done a really good job of doing.
All right, Coach, next question is from Tom Baker.
And I know you're a one game at a time guy, but the next three games are pretty pivotal for you guys. How do you express that to a young team to kind of keep your eyes on one game at a time?
Well, we don't do anything different. We won't even address the next one. We got Michigan on Thursday, and that's what we're geared up for.
All right, Coach, next question is from Mike Kloss.
Fran, I look at Dickinson's stats and the little I've seen from him on TV, and for his size, he seems to be an uncommonly good shooter. What's your description of him as an overall player?
Well, obviously, I love his game, and I recruited him really hard. So, watched him as a young kid, and really thought a lot of him. Had a chance to watch him at the trials for the USA under-19 team Patrick was trying out for that team, and I thought he played extremely well that week. But, watched him on the AAU circuit. I think it's been impressive about him is he keeps getting better. He could really score in the low post, pretty much since I watched him play as a young kid. But, I think he's expanded his game. He's making threes. His 17-foot jumper is pretty automatic. He's a really good free throw shooter. But he's always been a good passer out of the post because, he's been getting double teamed probably since fourth grade. So, he's pretty good at that. But, I think he's a competitor too. I mean, you better be in this league.
All right, Coach, next question is from Chad Eisencow.
Keegan was talking after the Penn State game. He said, I need to get better at not fouling, playing without fouling. So how do you coach that? How do you coach him to play hard but also stay out of trouble?
Well, I mean, in that game, he got a couple cheap ones early. I wasn't real happy about it either on a number of different levels. But you just got to avoid those. You don't chop a guy 90 feet from the basket. You don't set an illegal screen. Try to stay vertical as best you can. And he's really good at that, and I'm really impressed with his ability to do that. Slide his feet, stay vertical. When you're a shot blocker, it's really tempting to go for everything, and you got to be smart when you do that. And he's really been terrific lately.
If I could follow up on him, he's also playing a lot of minutes. Obviously now that not getting fouls is helping, but is he in that same mold in terms of conditioning, in terms of like Bohannon that I mentioned earlier, where he could play 35 to 40, you're not worried about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much have, anybody on our team, can play 35 or 40 minutes. I've said that to you guys before. The game's 40 minutes long. These guys are 20, 21 years old, 22 years old. We practice 2 hours a day. There's 4 media timeouts each half. You have halftime. Each coach has another 4 timeouts he can take. Those guys go to the free throw line. The ball goes out of bounds. I think I could play. I've done it in the past. I had a guy one time average over 40 minutes a game for me. So, I don't have a problem with that. We'll keep an eye on it. Sometimes guys will get fatigued. The pace of the game is really fast on any given day. Maybe it's more physical on any given day, so it's going to take a little more out of you. So you go get them a little bit. You take them out a minute here, a minute there. As we always say, maybe right before the media timeout is coming, and you put them back in. We happen to have a deeper roster than we've ever had, so it gives me the luxury of keeping fresh guys out there all the time. But there's certain guys that need to be out there as much as we can keep them out there. He's one of them.
All right, Coach, next question is from Steve Batterson.
Yeah, Fran, good afternoon. In what ways do you feel like your team's defense has progressed here over the past couple of weeks?
I think we're really working hard at it. I think we're communicating, at a really good level, because you're playing teams that have multiple weapons offensively and run really good stuff in this league, so you better be connected in terms of talking to one another. Transition defense has been much better, which is critical because we're running a lot, so teams run back at you. You better get back and get under control. So, I think we've also seen some success on offense as a result of it. So I think that's important too.
All right, Fran, last question will be from Rob Howe.
Fran, did you guys have the Ohio State scout done already? And I know you want the guys to focus on Thursday, Michigan, but how do you guys handle kind of the scouts with 3 games in 5 days?
Well, think about it. It's no different. If you're in a tournament, whether it be a mid-season tournament or a postseason tournament, you're going on a 1-day prep for the second game. So there's no different there. But the original part of your question, yeah, we had a couple days, but we were getting ready to get on a plane and go play that game. So we pretty much had the game plan in already. So yeah, it won't be that big a deal for either of us, I don't think.
All All right, thank you, Fran.
Thanks, guys.
Hand in the window and we'll go get them knocked out. First question is from Tom Caker.
Hey, Phil, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you about going up against Hunter Dickinson. You've gone up against some of those bigs this year. How is this challenge maybe a little different?
I think this challenge is a little bit different because his skill set is unique. Unlike Kofi and Zach Edey, where they are very low post dominant and don't really shoot it outside the paint, Hunter Dickinson has the ability to shoot a mid-range shot, shoot a three-pointer. So, it's going to be difficult, but, I got to do everything I can to make it hard on that guy.
Next question is from Chad Leistikow.
Realize it's one game at a time, but you have two games here in less than 48 hours of time clock. So how do you prepare for that? And are you guys are you excited for that?
As a team, we're definitely excited. We're playing two very good teams, and one of them is ranked, and we're playing in a hostile environment over there. So I know personally I'm excited. And then how do we prepare for that? I can't say what each person is doing individually. I know I'm kind of used to it since last year. In the Summit League, we played back-to-back games, so it was kind of grueling. But you gotta fight through it. But yeah, as a team, we gotta focus on Michigan first, and then when we take care of that game, we can focus on Ohio State. And we just gotta be prepared that it's gonna be grueling mentally and physically.
All right, next question is from John Bornenkamp.
Actually, Phillip, you kind of led into my question. You talked about the Summit League. When you played those back-to-back games, what did you learn last year in preparing for situations like you're going to see this weekend, you're going to see in the postseason? What did you learn from that?
I learned that making adjustments is key, and you don't have a lot of time to make these adjustments. You don't get a day of practice where you can fix these things, so it's straight into the game. You just got to watch film and hope that the players can pick up on the mistakes and the things that they were doing well to transfer over into the next game. So adjustment is definitely the most important thing, and then you just got to battle through the fatigue, I guess, because playing two back-to-back games is very grueling to say.
Chad Leistikow.
Hey Keegan, how have you done? Talked to you after Penn State. You were frustrated getting 2 fouls. How have you done a better job of not getting in foul trouble?
Yeah, I just think I've learned from that experience those couple weeks that I was getting fouls in the first half, but just trying to be aggressive without fouling. A lot of my fouls I was getting were ticky-tack, and they're just going after loose balls or screens and stuff like that. So just trying not to put myself in those situations as much as I could was just kind of my mindset going into these last couple of games.
Keegan, next question is from Tom Caker.
Keegan, what do you see from Michigan so far this year, and what's going to be the challenge for you guys on Thursday night?
Yeah, no, they're a team that struggled a little bit early on this season, just getting their footing in. But these last couple weeks, they've been playing really well. Kind of hit their stride. They had a couple good wins recently. Hunter's been playing really well for them, and they're just a team that can be dangerous at any point. So we just have to lock into our game plan, be ready for Thursday.
Okay. Now, is there a question from Chad Leistikow?
Naismith Player of the Week. I don't know. It doesn't happen too often. Luka Garza was the last person to do that for Iowa. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah. Obviously, when you hear Naismith in any sentence that you're in, it's a big thing that happened to you. So for me, it's just another thing that I guess I could check off my list. But it's just a big honor to be named a Naismith Player of the Week, for sure.
Tired? It doesn't look like you ever get tired out there. You always look the same demeanor.
Nah, I try not to show it. I feel like if I show that I'm tired, it's a weakness, and it shows the other team that you're tired. So for me, I just try and just go 100% every possession.
Our next question is from Mike Kloss.
Hi, Keegan. The point total you guys have run up the last two games. I don't think you've had two games like it in a long, long time in this program, especially I'm talking against Big Ten.
Yeah.
What have been the keys to the offense of being as fluid and successful as it's been?
Yeah, I just think a lot of guys are getting shots where they like to get shots at. I feel like the ball's moving really well in transition and also in our half-court offense. And our shooters are hitting open shots, which helps a lot with the spacing and things like that. And everyone's just looking for each other. No one's really being selfish and getting theirs or anything like that. We're just trying to find the open teammate, and that's really led to our success these last couple games.
All right, Keegan, next question is from Rob Howe.
Keegan, first 3-game winning streak in the conference. You guys are above 500 for the first time in the conference this year. Obviously, you want to build this resume. You're kind of looking at the rest of this month as an opportunity to kind of make the move.
Yeah, definitely. This next couple stretch of games was really big for us, and just trying to get a signature win out there and try to keep building our resume as much as we can. But yeah, we're locked in for this next game on Thursday, and for us, it's just taking it one game at a time. If we get too ahead of ourselves and look into the future, that can lead to a downfall, and that's something we're not trying to do at this point because February is a big month for a lot of teams in college basketball.
All right, Chad.
Do you look at standings? Like, do you look at the standings? You know exactly where you are. How much do you do that?
I don't really look at standings that much. I know that we're kind of in the middle of the pack right now as far as like our Big Ten record and things like that. But for me, it's just locking in on the team that we're playing next, and that's Michigan. And I know that it's a big game for us and for them as well. So it's just gonna be fun to get out there and try and get a win on Thursday.
All right, last call. Any more questions for Keegan? All right, thank you, Keegan.
Thanks.